Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome here for the regular season finale here for the AWC Pro Series here at Talladega International Superspeedway. Once again, here for the AWC Pro Series. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race here for the regular season finale. And can't wait to call this race here. Looks like we got quite a bit of drivers here tonight. But yeah, regular season finale. We do have, I think, 5 drivers that are already locked in via points. Obviously, this point standing is a little bit different than the rest of what everybody else is probably used to here, with 5 drivers being locked in via the chase. But we do have about 15 minutes left in practice, so it's going to give us an opportunity to kind of talk through some key talking points right now. We'll go ahead and show your ticker up here at the top of your screen. A little over 16 minutes left in practice, and we'll go ahead and look at some of your fastest drivers for tonight. Aaron Evans, we see this big pack of cars here. A lot of drivers that showed up tonight. I see 20 plus cars already out here in the session, so I love to see this. I mean, obviously Talladega, one of the more dynamic tracks here, and actually Aaron Evans goes to P4 in practice. That 42 right in front. Wyatt Roberts currently fastest in practice. See some spinning and tumbling and everything else throughout the race here. But we'll go ahead and take a look at your point standings here. I'll try to walk through it here, and we don't have a graphic for you guys, so we'll just kind of do it by ear, by audio for the rest of this, because obviously it was never given to me via like a spreadsheet or anything. I'm just going to read it off from the notes we have here in the general chat. So Bryson Bird in that 53 machine, Joel Farlow, Fidel Fabian, Jake Scarborough, and Ty McIntosh are all locked in here, so they don't have to worry about coming out here and really racing well or doing well. They're already locked into the chase here to start your postseason here after tonight's race at Talladega. We do have a couple people that are in an interesting spot. So Gabe Cazola already won, but is P10 in points, so can get technically knocked out of the P10 in points. I'm only 14 points above your P11 driver of Brett Bennett, Landon Brown, and we do have a lot of drivers who have shown up tonight, so there is a possibility that Cazola could get bumped out, but with him already winning, he's already eligible for the wild card around here. But we do have some other people who are highlighted that can make it in through here. So James Johnson, Gilberto Gamera, Brendan Reed, Landon Brown, Brett Bennett, and obviously we talked about Gabe just a couple seconds ago, are qualified to get themselves into the wild card round. And obviously I think Gabe is the only one who has won, so he's already kind of that first guy in if he gets bumped out of the top 10 in points. So right now currently your top 10 in points, Bryson Bird leading you points with 382 points, and then you have Joel Farlow back there in P2, Fidel Fabian, Jake Scarborough, Ty McIntosh have all locked themselves in their top 5 in points. Aaron Evans back there in P6, Adam Talon at 34 P7, Ryan Ronbaum in the 13 machine back there in P8, Noah Brown and Gabe Cazola running at your top 10, and the top 10 of points automatically get moved up into the playoffs. Now there are two wild card spots, just like it was back in the day, back in what, 2011 to 2013, I believe, is how they were the time frames that we had to chase the way it is now. So we do have two wild card spots for anybody who is outside of the top 10 who have won a race here. So right now currently Brett Bennett and Landon Brown P11 and P12 in points, but obviously haven't won a race yet here in the AWC Pro Series regular season. So if they would win, or anybody below, it looks like Brendan Reed, Gilberto Camara, and James Johnson have ran enough races that they are eligible to get in through the wild card. If they would come up here and win here in the season finale, in the regular season finale here, it would bump them in to the wild card round right now. So it's going to be interesting to see who could show up here, but we'll go through some of your other fastest drivers in practice. At number 8 of Ryan Jones, making one of his first starts of the season. Love to see some new drivers out here. Henry Kalhoff looking really strong here in these last couple of races. Glad to see him consistently showing up here to the AWC Pro Series. Obviously one of the more well-known drivers here in the sim, as one of the more well-known teams in the iRacing community, at least for my department and like where I race and put my time and energy into. So good, cool to see Henry doing well here. Obviously we talked about Aaron Evans, one of those drivers who are top 10 in points, but if he has a terrible race here, and obviously we need a little bit more drivers. So if right now it looks like we have 26 drivers here that have signed up, Aaron Evans would need almost a whole field we need a whole 43 car field to bump him out. On top of that, Aaron would have to have a really poor finish. So right now it looks like Aaron might be in the good to go here, but I would say everybody from Noah Brown on back. So Noah Brown is 22 points above the cutoff here in that 65 machine. See if we can find him here. Actually, P8 right here in practice. So if he has a bad race, he has there is a possibility that the 65 gets bumped out of the top 10 in points. Gabe Cazola only 14 points in that 18 machine back here, right behind him in that Coke Cherry Vanilla car. And you have some people outside looking in. Brett Bennett in the 47. We've seen him show a lot of speed throughout the whole season. And we have the 39 of Landon Brown. Obviously, it's a super speedway. Anything can happen here. And obviously, you see these blink cars. I'm going to make sure that that's right. I'm going to refresh my turning paints real quick to make sure that that is the right car. Looks like James Johnson and Landon Brown. No sponsors on those cars. I'm going to go and look at Farlow. No, Joel Farlow also. You know, all those guys in that camp. Couldn't find some sponsorship for tonight's race at Talladega, unfortunately. But so Landon Brown also could point his way into the top 10. Brendan Reed only 7 points out in that 57 machine. We'll see Brendan right there as we see the paints load in that 57. That brown and black machine can point his way in if something would happen. And then we go back to someone like Gilberto, who probably has to win their way in. If we could see him on track. I don't see Gilberto in the session yet. Hopefully we can find him sooner or later. But we do have some what they call all-star drivers here for tonight's race. We see right now Derek Limke in this 31 machine. He won earlier this season, I believe, in one of your first races. Obviously, Derek, one of your all-star drivers, has raced in the Truck Series off and on, in the Camping World Truck Series, or the Craftsman Truck Series, my apologies. And also has done some dabbling up north with his late models and stuff with there. So cool to see Derek back here into the AWC Pro Series, and hopefully he can have a good race for himself. Obviously, just trophy hunting for that 31 machine. Have some new drivers out here as well who are making their way out onto the track. You see the 5 of Donald Stern, and that 5. I think that is the 3 machine that we see, but he is in the 5 in the session, so interesting to see here. The Xavier Regal Brug. Oh, if someone in the chat wants to help me with that, that would be nice. And that 26 machine back there, that looks like that blue and yellow machine. So we'll just try to familiarize yourselves with everything else, but we'll go and see some action on track right here. Looks like Henry Callhoff on track with the 99 machine of... We got a lot of new drivers here. Nick Basden and that Canadian Tire machine. Really cool looking car for him. But we see right there, 8.5 minutes left in practice. We'll continue to try to look at your key talking points. Obviously, we talked about your drivers locked in. Bryson Burgel, Farlow, Fidel, Fabian, Jake Scarborough, and Ty McIntosh. Obviously, they came out here and ran the majority of the races, and that will show right there. Obviously, locked in on points here. And based off of how many people are in the session right now, I'd even throw Aaron Evans in the hat right there. And even Adam Tal. I feel like the only people that are really in line of potentially getting knocked out here is Noah Brown in that 65 machine. And even the 13 machine. As long as they show up here, you see Ryan back here running by himself in this. 13 looks like a little Dale throwback. I like to see that. Here at Talladega, obviously Dale very dominant here at the super speedways while he was with us. You see back there, 21st, but right now he's 53 points above the cutoff. He'd need a lot more drivers to show up to put him at risk right now. Still only 20. Let's see, 23, 24. Now 27 drivers have loaded into the session. You need a whole field to put him at risk of getting bumped out at the top 10 in points. So we'll have to see. Look at some more battles on track. Obviously, Aaron Evans around the 22. That's Enrique Cucalon back there in the 22. It's like he's 17th and quick in practice. See the 51 of Fidel Fabian and that new pink and white machine. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to all these new schemes. I love to see it. I'll say that. But see Fidel there back there in P5. He has locked his way into the playoffs. Very cool looking scheme for that 51 machine. I guess for, some, maybe some new fans at home, obviously I can't tell who knows what and who doesn't here, but we will go through some of your fun facts about Talladega here. Obviously, Talladega, one of the super speedway tracks. So people who don't really know what super speedway racing is will go on board with this 48 machine of Aaron Evans. We'll go into this cockpit here, and you see he's going to be flat out trying to actually make contact with this 51 machine. Once you get down the show, you might see a little bump here, potentially. But regardless, this is what's going to happen all race. We see the blink out of the 48. We'll go to the 51 to show us this pack racing, and you're going to see all guys all over each other all race here. Obviously, I feel like most people here watching a broadcast knows what super speedway racing is, but we thought we'd document it as we have a little bit of time for you guys, the ins and out of here. There we go. So we have a person in chat here said, I heard that the Arctic guys wanted to run less stickers to have less weight on the car, make it a little bit more aerodynamic, a little bit less weight. Hey, whatever you got to do. I mean, obviously it's worked at least for that 24 P2 in points, and obviously the 16 and the 39 haven't had a comparable season to Joel Farlow, but both still in the hunt to lock their way into the playoffs through one of those wild card rounds. Obviously, Landon Brown P12 in points, which would help him out. But obviously, James Johnson needs to win to get himself into the playoffs here. 48 points below the cutoff, but ran enough races to make himself eligible for a wild card. So, obviously not over for that 16 and that 39. Those Arctic guys still have a little bit of fight left, but you still see them down pit side. We'll try to grab some more guys. Adam Tal on track with the 13 of Ryan. Two guys who are right now locked into the top 10 in points, so just trying to figure out what's the best for those two drivers. Nice, so you see some contact between the 13 and 34. This is what I was trying to show you earlier. We'll go on board. Let me get around the 31. Derek Lemke. To get around them on the top. You see him, boom, make a little contact there with the 13 machine. That's all they're going to try to push that guy out in front. Try to keep them out in front. And obviously, something we'll have to look at and talk about later into the race is temps. Temps is going to be something you have to talk about here. Because you can't just sit back there behind the car forever and ever and ever and not have your car be affected. Obviously, these V8 engines crave that clean air, and if you're sitting back there just pushing a car in front, you're not getting that clean air, and your car will start to overheat. So you're gonna see some guys that will try to maybe do what that 34 is doing, trying to peek out in the corners, maybe peek in the corners, depending on who you're working with, to help cool off that engine, to help push longer. And obviously, you might see some guys throughout the race who will say, hey, I'm hot, I'm hot, I'm hot. And they'll go to the back of the pack to try to cool off that engine. With those two coming down, practicing some green flag pit stops, that's something that's going to be very crucial as well. We just called the race last night. It was the playoff race number 1 for the Prestige Cup Series. We saw a lot of drivers make a lot of mistakes coming down pit road, giving us those penalties. And I would say some of your race favorites to go down there and race for the win took themselves out of the picture just because they all sped down pit road. It was a whole pack. Oh wow, you see a hood come up there. That's interesting to see. I think it was that 6 machine. But just like that, you'll actually see the race control skip the qualifying a little bit early. So let's go ahead and take your ticker away for one moment here. And we'll get ready to get your qualifying underway here from Talladega. Like Gabe Cazola out on the track. We'll go ahead and take a look at him. One of the drivers trying to race their way into the playoffs. Obviously top 10 in points, but Can easily get knocked back out, but does have a playoff, does have a win here tonight to help get him into the wild card. So obviously, I think this 18 will be into the wild card round regardless. I don't think there's anybody else who has one that he's fighting for the wild card. So he will have that wild card to fall back onto if he does get knocked out of the top 10 in points. See the 18 right here coming out. They try to wrap this top lane to get this car up to speed here. We'll go ahead and get your qualifying ticker up. Once he hits the line here, see what kind of lap time this 18 car will run. Remember, start finish line is a little bit further down the track here. It's not through the tri-oval. It's a little bit past the tri-oval, about 100 feet past what you'd see at Daytona as he crosses the line here. Let's see what kind of lap time this 18 will run. See him really slide this car up the track here. Like he's gonna run the top here on this first lap. Try to get as much speed going down here, and actually his second lap is gonna be his hot lap that he's gonna try to do here. Obviously, all these drivers have 2 laps to try to complete 5 minutes and 2 laps. Obviously, that should be plenty of time for these drivers to try to run a lap time down right now. Currently, Noah Brown, your pole sitter. 55.05. Now Santiago Aguirre gonna move up there. So we're gonna start to see the lap time start to change here, as a lot of drivers will use that first lap as kind of a warm-up lap to get the car up to speed, and you'll use the second lap to kind of run the fastest lap they can here. See the 18 down there trying to wrap that double yellow line coming out of 3 and 4. And you're going to want to let that car kind of wash up the track here. You see actually the 18 paint that, so letting the car wash up here, but coming back to the line through the Geico restart zone. Gabe will run a 54.8. That's good enough for P2 right now. Derek Lemke moves his way up to P2 with a 55.82. 54.82, my apologies. Now, Nick Basden will move his way up to the pole. Now, we're going to try to keep up with his bunch now. Enrique Cucalan, 54.78. We'll continue to take a look at some of these drivers now. Aaron Evans coming to the line to complete his first lap. .9 for that 48 machine. And just enough time to get around to set another lap here for this 48. See some more. See if we can find any more. It looks like Ty McIntosh, one of your drivers locked into playoffs, P9 for that 45 machine. Wyatt Roberts, P14. Brett Bennett, P17. Tell P19. Aaron Evans, and now P22. But obviously, we know he's going to try to set a little bit of a quicker lap time here, coming out of 3 and 4. Going back across the line here. .928. That'll move him up to P21. Looks like that. Joel Farlow moves his way up here last second. 54.57755. My apologies. He's going to steal the pole here. Obviously locked into the playoffs already. But a pole, definitely a good way to build up some momentum going into here in the Talladega. We'll wait for some of these drivers to load into their virtual machines here. Obviously, these drivers have a lot of tools in the shed that they can use to adjust the way the car is going to drive. I think, especially you have a lot of guys who will use a completely different steering ratio here at Talladega in these super speedways to, help catch a car, help push a little bit harder. So we'll wait on these guys to continue to file into their cars here, and then we'll get your starting lineup here presented by HVTV. But now we see your race leader put his car on the grid here. We'll get your starting lineup here presented by iVelocity TV. Obviously, we saw that 24. Joel Farlow going to be your pole sitter for tonight's race, and Enrique Cucalan, and at 22 going to round out that row 1. Row 2, Donald Stern, new to this AWC Pro Series. You see him in that Wrangler 3 machine with the 99. Nick Basden going to round out that row 2. P5 is going to be Noah Brown in the 65. Derek Lemke, one of your all-star drivers, going to round out that row 3. Low 4, Gabe Cazola with Bryce Bird going to round out that top 8. And rounding out the top 10 is Gilberto Gamero, trying to win his way into the playoffs with Ty McIntosh in that 45 going to round out that top 10. P11, Henry Kalhoff in that 63 machine with Jake Scarborough. P12, Fidel Fabian in the 51 alongside the 25 of Joseph Smith. Wyatt Roberts in the 42, going to be P15, and P16, Xavier Riegelbrug. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. See that 26 machine right there. P18 is going to be Santiago in the P17, and Brett Bennett going to round out that row 9. And rounding out your top 20, Jamie Wright and Adam Towle. P21 is going to be Landon Brown with Aaron Evans going to round out that top 22. 23rd, Ryan Ronbaum with Brendan Reed, rounding out P24. P25, Ryan Jones, new to the league, and Michael Deitch in that 4 machine, right back there in P26. P27 is going to be Tegan Fox, and rounding out your field for tonight's race, James Johnson in that 16 machine. Gonna look at your race weather for tonight's race. 74 degrees, 13-mile-an-hour wind, but clear skies out. So a beautiful day for racing here at Talladega to wrap up your regular season here, but you do see the lights on the pace car off. 2 Fords. And that lead us to green here. 57 laps here from Talladega Superspeedway to round off your regular season. And man, I can't wait to call this race. I mean, Talladega, what a perfect way to put a wrap here on the season in an exciting fashion. You're going to see a lot of great racing, 2-3 wide here throughout the race here. And just like that, you're going to see that pace truck take a hard left turn on the pit road. We're going to hand this race over to Barney up here in the flag stand. And we're going to be going 57 laps here to round off your regular season. We hand the race off over to Barney, going to the restart zone. And we are green here for your season finale for the AWC Pro Series. Coming into turn with the 3 for the first time. Joel Farlow pushed by the 3 machine of Donald Stern. He's going to lead. Going into turn 3 and 4. No help from the outside. The outside is continuing to start to fall apart here. But coming out of 3 and 4 down the backstretch. The 3 is going to pull out a line here. Side by side at the line. The 24 in that Ford and the 3 on the top. Going to the line. The 24 will lead your first lap here at Talladega. The 65 of Noah Brown pushing out that 24 machine, trying to get that bottom roll. And you see Gabe Cazola back there in the 18 Coca-Cola machine, trying to tandem there with that bottom line as That bottom's still trying to figure out what they're doing as well as the top line. You see there a little bit of a run out at the top as the 22 of Kukulon pushing out that 3 car. Try to get side by side with that second lane. Everybody's still 2 by 2 here on lap 2 of 57. You still see that 24 clear both lines. He can go up and block whatever lane he wants now. But here comes the 3 on the outside with help from the 22. And they're trying to make it side by side once again. Going out of 3 and 4 down the tri-oval. Back to the line. Give it to the 3. Donald Stern will lead his first laps here in the AWC Pro Series. But here comes his third line. Ty McIntosh. And that bright green 45 machine going to try to make that third line work here early. But you see now the 65 will go up there and try to block that top lane. Will Farlow still content running that bottom lane. Now help from Gabe Cazzola in the 18 machine, but the 65 and Noah Brown getting some help from the 45 of Ty McIntosh going to try to make this third lane work. And as you do that, you're going to start to see the middle lane start to die here a little bit. You see the top and the middle lane now side by side, allowing that bottom lane of Joel Farlow to try to get some momentum here. Gabe Cazzola will come up now and block the middle lane. Now he's going to try to go side by side with the 24, and he'll lead that lap. Huge push from the 3 machine, pushing out the 18 to the race lead. What will the 18 do now? Gabe Cazzola right now electing to lead that middle lane. Not going to give the bottom lane the credit where it's due yet. Is going to come with a run. A really good push from the 22. Going to be side by side, 3 by 3 for the lead. Is the 65. Guys are running on the top. Still 3 by 3 here, going out of the tri-oval here, going back to the line. It's going to be side by side. The 24, the 18, and the 65. Give that lap to Joel Farlow with that 24 machine. A little bit of contact between the 18 and the 24. And now we're sat 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, 5 rows deep here. Everybody's trying to make some spots up now. Now back to about 7 deep now. Now you see the 31 of Derek Lemke. Did not like what he sees. He's going to go to the back of the pack here. Did not like this 3 by 3 race that you said. I'm just going to lift. Come to the back here. I'm just going to ride around for a little bit. I don't really mind what the 31's doing right here. Goes at the back here. Going to ride it out for a little bit. Back to the race for the lead. You see the 30 now drumming up to lead the top lane here. Is that third lane starting to lose a little bit more momentum. Is the 53 of Bryson Bird will now push that 3 machine. And now the 18 will flip-flop spots with the 24. The 24 Farlow will push the 18 now around the bottom. And you haven't really seen a line be the way to go yet. You haven't seen the line get up and pull away. You haven't seen the middle work. We haven't really seen the bottom work. And we definitely haven't seen that top line be dominant yet. Everybody just kind of stuck where they are right now. As you see the 3 trying to side draft that 18 back. But Gabe Cazzola will lead another lap here as that bottom right now just has a little bit of the edge. Taking a look at some of your biggest movers for the race here. Back here, all the way back here in P13, Ryan Rombaum. Up 10 positions from where he started, now 11. That's going to probably go up and down a little bit as he's stuck there 4th in that top lane. But Ryan trying to get up there and make some moves here. Got to get some more points here to secure himself into the playoffs. Some of your biggest droppers, obviously we saw him. Derek Lemke in the back here. Drop now. His last 16 spots where he started, but obviously I think this is more of a strategy move than a move that was forced through the thing. Obviously we saw him go out of his way to drop to the back. So he's down 16 positions from where he started, but I think he'll be up there when the time is right. We'll continue to see 3 wide as that top lane. They're trying to make something work here. Gabe Cazola goes up now to block the middle lane. As he'll be pushed up by Bryce Bird, and once again, it's the 24 and 22 showdown on the bottom. Enrique Cuculon going to try to squeeze his way down. He's going to be the third line on the bottom. The third guy on the bottom, but needs to get back up to the 22 to help push his bottom out. See Bird, and now Cazola will drop down to lead the bottom. That will give the 51 Fidel Fabian the leading in the top. You'll have Henry Kalhoff in the 63. That'll come back up, but here comes the 18 now. Cazola will go up and lead the middle lane once again. Now we'll give the bottom to the 53 Bryson Bird. Bird will be pushed out by the 24 now, side by side for the lead. The 53 will be clear coming down here into 3 and 4. Talked about the top being dead, not quite. You saw them actually 3 wide for the lead. They're the 65. And Noah Brown has not given up on the top lane yet. Has some help from, looks like the 45 of Ty McIntosh, the 66 of Neil Rutt. Go back to the line, give that lap to Bryson Bird in the 53. He'll lead his first laps here for Talladega. Side by side all through around here, but you see the 18 going to get clear here from the help from the 51. Will he drop down to the bottom? He will. He'll drop down right in front of that 53 of Bryce Bird. Now the 65 once again with the run from help from the 45 of Ty McIntosh. It seems like they can just get a good run down the back, but as soon as we get into the corners, they lose a lot of momentum and a lot of pace. The top just needs a little bit more help. Now you see I go up there and emerge and try to lead this top once again. It looks like that is the 89 machine. Jamie Wright making his way up there in that Cool Whip machine. The 89 will jump in front here and he'll lead the top for the first time. Try to get some momentum help from the 65 of Noah Brown, and we'll try to push this car out, but right now give that lead to the 51 of Fidel Fabian. Help from the 63 of Henry Kalhoff. And Gabe Cazola continuing to lead that bottom. They're going to catch this lap car. It'll be 4 wide here. Trying to get around them, but they see that Canadian Tire machine getting out of the way. That 99 machine already going a lap down here. Nick Baston's first race here. Not probably what he imagined. Top with the huge run. It's actually going to allow that 89 to drop down, clear the rest of the field here. He'll go down and drop below. And now give the race lead to Jamie Wright in that 89 machine. Huge push from the 18 machine is going to push that 89 out to the lead once again. Side by side with the 65. It seems like that top can just get a really good run here, but as soon as we get into the corners, like I've documented, that they just cannot get the momentum here in that middle lane. I think it's just the worst of both lanes there. Cannot get a run off the straights here like the top can, and cannot hold the speed in the corners like the bottom. They're just kind of stuck there. But you see right there, a huge push for the 51. Going to get the 53 now side by side with the race leader of the 89 machine. Now the 53, ooh, a little bit of dicey-ness there. Oh, is there, here they go. The 53 is going to go around. And that's the big one already from Talladega. That was a lot of cars involved. We'll try to take a look and see what happened here on your HVTV replay. HVTV replay. Go ahead and look at your chopper cam. I think this happened up further here between the 53 of Bird. A little bit of a bad push from the 51, gets the 53 kind of squirrely. The 89 gets squirrely, and it just kind of, yeah, just a bad push from the 51 here, and wrong for the right. Oh my god, the 51 up it into the catch fits. And a lot of people involved that just couldn't have anywhere to go. I want to go on board with the 77 of Jake Scarborough here as he went through this wreck. Looks like he got through it pretty clean and green here. Just backs it down and he gets on the binders. And man, look at that carnage right in front of him. He's going to get away scot-free here. And that's going to be the benefit of sitting in the back there. You knew that was going to happen sooner or later. I didn't think we'd expected it on lap 14. But that's what's going to happen here. It was going to happen sooner or later here at a racetrack like Talladega. Unfortunately, it takes out a lot of drivers here tonight. Henry Caloff down pit road. Lost his hood. Lots of damage to that machine. Fidel Fabian luckily already locked himself into the playoffs coming into Talladega. But not the one he wanted. Noah Brown, we obviously saw him up there. No hood on that machine. And then so still some more cars down pit side here. Honestly, I'm surprised to see only this amount of cars. It looked like a lot of other guys who got some residual damage, but here comes the rest of the field here down pit side, though. Come in here, top off on some Sunoco race fuel. Probably take some tires along. You'll see some take tires. You'll see some just top off on fuel. See the 89. It looks like he's going to come out here. Ooh, I think he's going to win your race off pit road. So James Johnson in the 16 decided to stay out here. 15 laps on this one, obviously lap 15 of 57. And the 99 also stayed out here. I think it's a good idea for the 99 here. I'm Nick Baston. We'll get back on, get a lap back. Looks like he is currently 3 laps down. We'll get back down to 2, so he does have only 10 laps on this stint, so hopefully, I don't know what would it cost him to go 3 laps down here. Hopefully everything's okay in that 99 camp, but James Johnson will stay out here and lead a couple laps here. Get some bonus points for leading some laps. Remember, James got to do something different here. He's going to have to win this race to lock himself into the wild card, to get himself into the playoffs. Obviously, too far out on points, I think, to race his way in on points. I think right now he is 49 points below the cutoff line, and obviously I think it's doable, but he'd have to have every car in front of him, which includes, you know, about 7 cars to have a bad race. Obviously, I think it's doable at Talladega, but I don't think the guys in front of him are naive enough to put themselves in the spot to get wrecked out here. Now you'll see the 16 come down pit road. Just wanted to get those laps lit, I presume. Now I'll hand the race lead back over to JB Wright, the 89. We'll see that 99 machine go up there and get his lap back. There he'll go. So I'll put Nick Basden from 3 laps down back to 2, so he'll jump up a spot here ahead of Noah Brown. But still some drivers down pit road from those wrecks. Noah Brown, Henry Calhoff, Donald Stern also down pit road in that 3 machine trying to get some damage fixed. So they've gone laps down. I just do see lights off on the pace car. Which means we'll be going green this time by here. See the 89 in the lead here. Jamie Wright in that cool whip Supra. And the 24, that Arctic Motorsports machine of Joel Farlow, currently P2 in points. Had a great season up to this point. Then you'll have the 22 of Kukulon and the 13 of Rambam going to round out that top 4. So a whole mix of manufacturers that you see. Chevy, Toyota, and Ford all represented up here in your top 4. 2 Fords and 1 Toyota and 1 Chevy, respectively. Just like that, you'll see the pace car hook another left down pit road, and we're going to hand this race back over to the 89 of Jamie Wright, as he will go through the restart zone once again and lead us back to green. A great jump by the bottom lane. Or was that too good of a jump? We'll have to see. You see the 24 drop down to the bottom lane, and so will the 13 machine of Ronbaum. As they get back to the rear end of the 22 of Kukulon. And now the 5 or the 26 of Xavier will lead the top lane. And Jamie and Enrique will continue to try to tame them away. They're obviously not going to work that much there. That bottom really working really well right now, as now you see the 24. Farlow is going to jump up and try to lead this top lane. Everybody kind of content. It looks like riding where they are right now. Obviously, we do see the top lane. That's going to try to get some momentum to get back up to the front. You don't really see any aggressive 3 wide yet. Everybody kind of got a wake-up call there. We just wrecked a bunch of cars there. Trying to race aggressively now. As I say that, the 23. Gilberto Gabbera. Going to jump up here 3 wide. On top of the 42 of Wyatt Roberts. Have help from the 77 to Scarborough as well. Like the 48 of Aaron Evans going to jump up there. Not really within a range to help get them pushed out. But the 77 will start to make some moves to get up here to the front. See the 77 going out there to try to push that 23 out on the top lane. Right there ripping the wall. And the bottom has died there for a second, giving Joel Farlow the lead. But here comes Jamie back here on the bottom. But here comes in Gilberto on the top. 3 by 3 going into turn 3. For the lead here is the 24 help from the 5 machine of Xavier. Going to try to push this 24 out here. All lines are equal right now. I think we have all equally pretty good pushers throughout the field here. And now the 5, I feel like, has shown that he's been a good pusher for the 24. And obviously the 77 doing a phenomenal job pushing Gilberto out to the lead. Gilberto in the wall there. They're going to have to dump him. And I'll put them back to 2 wide once again. Joel Farlow will retake your race lead. D1 from the 5 here, help from the 42. Gonna get him the lead. Xavier will lead his first lap here at Talladega and for the AWC Pro Series. You saw the 24 right there block it up and down to try to get the momentum going. And now you'll see him help from the 89, and now the top lane working once again is Jake Scarborough. Help from the 45 of Ty McIntosh. Gonna try to make this top work by themselves. The 5 help from with the 42 of Wyatt Roberts. Wyatt looked really quick these last couple of races. Now up here inside the top 5. Gonna help that 5 machine out. Now the 77 help with the from the 44, and now the 24 help with from the 89 Wyatt of Jamie Wright. That bottom just looks a lot more put together than the rest of the field here. See kind of a 2-car breakaway for those other 2 lanes here, and it's just kind of relying on those 2 to help get them to the front. Fortunately, that's not what they need. See about a 4-car pack there on the bottom versus 2, and then now the top's getting some help now, but I mean, they need more than a couple of cars to jump up there. Now here comes Jamie Wright. Going to lead the middle. Now he's going to jump up and lead the top. Help from Jake Scarborough. And I'll leave the 42 back with the 22 of Enrique Cuculon. They've worked pretty well together all race. Barlow in the 22. A little bit of dicey racing back there. Aaron Evans getting a little upset trying to push that 5 out. There's now 4 wide back here. Inside the top 10, Jake Scarborough did not want to work with the 89. He's going to go around him on the top and kind of force that 89 to push him now. He said, I don't want to push you, but you can push me. I'm going to go back around. Derek Lemke slowly lurching his way up through the field once again, putting himself just outside the top 10. He's going to try to go up there and push that 5 machine out. 5 lost all of his help. Xavier had no help from anybody else. Everybody decided to go around him. And now the 31, Lemke's going to go up there and try to push this 5 machine out. Off the nose of the 31, you see that middle lane starting to get some help now. I'm starting to work here from help from the 31. Just needs to continue to work with this 5 machine here. That top lane getting some help now. No middle line. Now we've gone back to 2x2. Now you have the 5 leading that top lane, the 24 leading the bottom, and your race lead here. Joe Farlow help from the 22 of Enrique Cuculon. You see the 13 of Ryan Rombom back there, but here comes a huge run from the 5 machine. Xavier's going to get side by side with your race leader here going into 1 and 2. (31 of Lemke pushing out the 5 machine, going to get a huge run out of the corner here. He might have the opportunity to clear here if they want. Looks like the 5 will be clear, but the 31 is going to have to get a little bit more help to get him clear. Or 24 will drive it down into the corner. We'll see the top get a little bit of a run off the top. Going to get them side by side out of turn 3 and 4. Still side by side going out of the backstretch. We'll see who gets this lap here. Run out of the 5. Will it be enough to lead the lap? Not quite. I'll give it to the 24. Some amazing racing throughout the race here, I'll say myself. We've seen hard racing all race. We haven't seen anybody kind of sit in line or anybody else. We'll see. We'll see now as the 5 is going to get shipped. Oh, it looks like Lemke actually gets into the wall there. And that's going to completely destroy the momentum of that top lane. And now the 5 still leads that bottom lane. Now help from Ty McIntosh in the 77 of Jake Scarborough. We've seen all race through that 45 and that 77 really close in the proximity with each other, working with each other, trying to see how they could get themselves up to the front. Same essence, you know, I don't know, maybe it's a 4 teammate alliance here, but we've seen this 24 and this 22 work really well together throughout the whole race here. Enrique doing a really good job pushing this 24 out to keep the race lead for Joel here in this 24. And you see the 13 back there, Ryan, just kind of sitting in line, riding around. In a really good spot right now for that 13 machine. Now we're catching some lap traffic ahead. That's the 16 of Johnston. And the 51 of Fidel Fabian. Fidel, remember, caught up in that caution. He's currently 1 lap. Well, he just went 1 lap down. Hopefully he can reattach to the back end of this pack here. I don't think he can, though. Like, they're still pulling away from him here. That sucks when you're in that position that Fidel's in, where like you give up the top to try to be nice, and then you lose the pack, right? They fly by you, and now you're just by yourself once again, hoping that, you know, you get a caution or something. It sucks. It's a terrible feeling, but you know, it's what he's gonna have to deal with for right now. Side by side for a race lead. The 5's going to get help from the 45 of Ty McIntosh. Got to get him out in front. We'll see a lap car on the top here as he gets by. The 99 once again going a lap down. Nick just has not had the race that I think he expected to have here in his debut here in the AWC Pro Series. Oh, the 5 is blinking. Xavier having some internet issues. That's going to slow down. That's going to halt any run of that top pad, because you saw the top pad. They kind of check up here, because that's the thing is, like, when the 5 blinks back in and it looks like the 45 was inside of him, and basically the only way to resolve that issue is the 45 has to lift to get unstuck, basically. Now you'll see them try to generate a run once again. The 45 near the back of the 5. I think he's still inside of the 5 machine. They might have to shuffle this 5 car out. There he blinks once again. If you're the 45, you're kind of in a weird spot. You're kind of helpless, right? You don't really know what to do. Do you ship him out? Do you put him in a bad spot? Or do you continue to push him? And now it looks like he continues to push him here in this 45 machine. Ooh, a little bit of a contact between the 4 and the 5, the 24 and the 5. That's going to really slow the momentum there. I don't think Joel meant to do that, but that will slow up now. The 5 get taken 3 wide. As a 45 with a huge run from the 77 is going to get side by side with Joel Farlow. Now that 5 will be the meat in the sandwich once again, as Xavier will try to find a home here. As he does, as basically that top line drops down in front of him, now leaving that 3rd lane left of the 88, the 31, and that 3 machine, the 3 lap car. Obviously Derek Lipke, that 31, and Santiago back here in the 88. Back up here for the battle for the lead here. Race is already approaching, you know, we've already passed halfway here in tonight's race. 57 laps, not the longest race here for the AWC Pro Series, so, I mean, we're already starting to think about, you know, green flag pit stops and stuff right now. 18 laps complete in the stint. I don't think they'll be able to go the rest of the race here on fuel. if we go green, we'll have to make at least one more green flag pit stop. Because that top lane has started to figure itself out here with the 45 and the 77, even the 48 of Aaron Evans helping that lane get going. See, the 45 really tried to side draft that bottom lane to try to make something work here. What you see out of that 77 is exactly what you want to see. See him kind of peek out of line there to help with the temps a little bit. To help make sure that he can be a good pusher for the rest of the race here. And it's pretty evident as, oh, as the 45 will go up there. Maybe the 77 was getting hot and he told, you know, Ty, I'm hot, I'm hot, I'm hot. Now the Ty will go towards the back end of this back here and trying to find the lane here to get back in line. Now the 77's at the mercy of the 48. Aaron Evans will have to try to push the 77 out. 77 will fight a spot in line, and now Aaron Evans all by himself there on the top. Now he's going to have to fight a hole to get in line. We have green flag pit stops underway right here. 77. Oh, the 5's going to get spun down pit road. No black flags. Surprisingly, no black flags for any of these drivers after getting spun down pit road, but a huge loss for Xavier in that 5 machine. He's probably going to lose that lead pack here. But we'll go back up here. Joel Farlow and the group of cars still decide to stay out here. Now, how long do they wait until they come down pit road now? Do they react to that first team that came down, or do they have their own plan of what they want to do here? Obviously, we've seen the 22 and the 24 working together all race, basically. You know, the 24 does have 2 teammates in the 39 and the 68. As here comes the second pack down pit road. Oh, Aaron Evans gonna... Is he gonna slow down in time? He does. Wow, what a job getting on the brakes for that 48 machine. You'll see those guys complete their pit stops. Wyatt Roberts, Brett Bennett, Gabe Gazzola, Joel, and they do have the lap car. That is the 3 machine of Donald Stern. 1 lap down there in this pack, and they still need a pit. Maybe not on the same memo as everybody else, because it's 1 Toyota, 1 Ford, 1 Chevy, so it's not like these guys are teammates or anything. And now you'll see the 45, the 47, and the 18 come down pit road. Needs a good smooth stop going into pit road here. And now it's going to be a battle of who can get back here and have a good stop in and out. So right now, currently, Wyatt Roberts still your race leader. And they have a shot at keeping this race lead if they can get out, in and out in a timely fashion here. It's 10 seconds back. Here comes the first pack here that came down to 22. This is actually the second pack. I think we have a little bit of a mixed bag here. Here they come at around the tribal to start the cross the start finish line, and they still have a 3-second gap to get back to those guys in front. So we'll go back up here to Brett Bennett as they approach the pit exit. It'll be close. I think they're not going to have the speed, but they'll be in this pack. So they're going to have to go 3 wide back here. 22 with a huge shove of the 80 died, and the 22 of Kukulan will take your race lead away. 88 of Santiago will lead the top here from help from Jake Scarborough, and the 45 of Ty McIntosh. So it was nice to see that all these kind of packs kind of worked themselves back. And obviously you see like the 77 and the 45 who pitted first. You see the 22 who was in that second pack lead the race. Obviously, we saw, you know, Brett Bennett back here. They should be able to keep out of the lead pack here. He was that last pack. You see the 18 who also pitted with the 47. Everybody getting back congealed back together. You see it on your timing and scoring right there. 20 laps to go here from Talladega. So the laps are starting to climb down. As we... Oh, it's the 77's going to go around. Caution will wave it. Wow, another big wreck here at Talladega. We'll take a look and see what happened here. We kind of missed it there. Wow, the 77 getting into his teammate. And Ty McIntosh there. We'll take a different look at that from a different angle here. Yeah, I'm unsure what happened to the 77. Just kind of shot up the track there. Gets into the side of the 45. And that will be a big chain reaction. There's nowhere to go for a lot of these drivers. You see the 4 up on its side. Wow. Michael Deitch. What a ride for him. Oh, he's going to barely miss the 42. What a ride for Michael Deitch there. The caution will wave here from Talladega with 20 to go. And that shakes up everything. I'd like to say hello to everybody in chat watching at home, on their, whether you're on your couch, on your computer, on your phone, on your laptop, on a plane, wherever you are. We appreciate you coming out and watching the regular season finale here from Talladega. Appreciate all the love. Type in the comments who you think is going to come out here and win. Type who your favorite driver is. Type who you want to win in this race. Obviously, be a lot of damage on a lot of these cars. You see Gabe Cazola. No hood on that machine. A lot of drivers getting caught up in that last wreck. Oh, we got someone here waiting for an interview. Let's go ahead and talk to him while we're under caution here. We have Aaron Evans up here in the broadcast booth. Aaron, you got a copy? Well, unfortunately, caught up in that one there with 20 to go there. Just it looked like maybe a mistake. I'm unsure what happened between the 45 and that 77, but walk us through, you know, your race. Walk us through what happened in your eyes for that wreck.
I mean, for my race, I guess, like, I started in the back and I just worked my way forward, and I mean, it's a super speedway, so you're going to fluctuate a lot. But, you know, after the pit cycle, I came out in that lead pack and I felt strong. I mean, I overtook 2 people going into the pits, and then we're just driving, and Jake came up into the 45, and next thing I knew, my race is over.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's Talladega. It's kind of the way things work here. But luckily, you know, looking into the future here, it looks like 61 points. You did have a 61-point gap to P10. It looks like some of your other drivers have had some bad luck. Obviously, Cazola got caught up in that. Obviously, Jake Scarborough, who was already locked in, but looks like, you know, you needed I think a full field to lock you, and you needed the full field for you to not have a good race, for you to be eliminated from the playoffs here. So looking into the future, at least an upside here. I don't think you had enough drivers to knock you out here going into the playoffs. So I mean, hopefully you can get some of that damage fixed if you can, and maybe limp it around, maybe get a couple more spots here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't get locked out, but it's frustrating because I felt fast. I mean, I was up there with the lead pack for a majority of it, and then my first crash, I get too much damage, and I mean, it's racing, it's super speedway. Don't know what else to say about it.
Well, yeah, terrible luck for you, but hopefully you can rebound here. Obviously, I think you're still in the playoffs. Hopefully you can rebound from this last lack of a finish that you want here, and hopefully we can talk to you soon, maybe into the playoffs sometime.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully I'll talk to you again. Last time it was Homestead on a much brighter note. Or not Homestead, was it Homestead? I think it was.
I think it was Homestead. Yeah, it was a good race for you back there, but we're gonna go ahead and let you go. We're getting ready to go win the green, but have a good rest of the night. Hopefully you can get some of that damage fixed.
Yeah, I mean I'm out. It says too much damage, so
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Unfortunate message from Aaron Evans out of the race early here from that caution involving the 77 and the 45. So you just heard it from the man himself, out early in that 48 machine. That's a pretty terrible luck here. Obviously, we talked about had a good run there at Homestead, I believe, and fortunately out early here for Talladega. The 17 to go. We still got quite a few cars here left. It looks like 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 16, 15 plus cars here that could still fight for this win here. That really did stack up and spice up some things. Jake Scarborough coming out of pit road here, so we still have some guys who are trying to catch back up here to this lead pack here. But man, you talk about being lucky. Jamie Wright has always put himself in the spot here to where he's not involved in these wrecks. Remember that first big one that happened, he was leading, and now look at him now. Driving through the wreck there, he's going to come home here. He's going to come to the line here. He's going to lead us back to green once again. You have the 88 of Santiago in this 88 machine. He's up 15 spots from where he started. And he's quietly worked his way up here to the top 5. Now you see him leading the top here on this restart. Obviously, we've seen Joel Farlow up here all race. Xavier has moved his way up here in that 5 machine. Even after getting spun down pit road, still recovered pretty well here. Well, that's your fast 4 here from Talladega, but you did see that pace truck take a hard left turn. We'll get ready to get back into your restart zone. And the 89 for the second time will lead us back to green here from Talladega. Good jump by the 89 there. It was too far out. Obviously, the 24 is not going to really have anywhere to go with this run. He's probably going to be forced to push this 89 out here, as that Supra will continue to lead the bottom lane, and you'll see another Supra and the 88 machine lead that top as they have a huge run for Santiago. Once again, you'll see the bottom line with an advantage down into the corners, but you'll see the top get the momentum up and off the corner here. Trying to make a run here. Not the best line for the top here is the 5. Will try to push that 88 back up here to the front. And now the 42. Wyatt Roberts has stuck his way inside this top 3. 16 now, 15 to go from Talladega. I mean, this is around that time frame where you want to start to strategize. Figure out who you have around you. Figure out who you can trust. Figure out who you can't trust. Figure out who you want to work with and who you don't. And now you see the 24 jump up to the top. He's going to lead that top lane. Barlow will jump down. Lead the bottom now. He's going to jump in front of that 89 machine now. Give the 88. Once again, the top. To lead the top here, and that top lane has just not gotten going since we've got the start here. Santiago, I don't know, maybe he's got some damage. I don't know if the 5 just can't push that 88 out like he used to. And it takes a lot longer to get a run here in this top, like as we've seen before. And now the 88 gets a run here, going to be side by side with 3rd in line, maybe 2nd in line on that bottom if they get a good run out of turn 2. Still just not the run that I think that top wants right now if they're going to try to win this race from the top lane. That 89 machine of Jamie Wright doing a fantastic job trying to push the 24 of Joel Farlow out. And you know, ever since that 24 has took the lead there on the bottom, they have not looked back. Wyatt Roberts doing a good job keeping that bottom working. You saw the 47's Brett Bennett. Oh, the 77 around once again. Will that be a caution? I'm not sure it will. Look back at what happened here between the 77 though. Do you see the 47 going to jump out of line right here? In contact? No. Yeah, contact from the 13 of Ryan. Fortunately, the 63 of Kalhoff, who was already a lot of laps down there, is going to get the worst end of that. But here it goes the caution. Caution waves now. Caution's out. Hopefully we didn't see a different wreck happen. I think they might have called it for that wreck involving the 77. My session events doesn't show anything else different, so I'm pretty sure we because of that wreck. I think Henry Kalhoff obviously got the worst end of that ordeal here. We'll go ahead and take a look at it from Henry's side of things here. So Henry was just back here running in the back, trying to mind his own P's and Q's. He was already, multiple laps down. Looks like 15 down. Trying to finish the race here, get some eyes on this Ramsey machine. Get some TV time. Obviously, he's going to get it now. Probably not for the reason he wants, but you'll see him. The wreck should happen around here. Fortunately, gets tagged by the 77. Around the 63 will go. Honestly, not as bad damage as I thought. When I saw him come down here, I thought he was KO'ing the inside wall, but got lucky. He got on the brakes here. And I maybe kissed the nose of that and then just kept going. Maybe a little bit of left rear damage, but definitely could have been a lot worse for that 63 machine. Now 12 to go here. I don't expect anybody to come down pit road unless you do have some damage that you need to fix. See some guys pit down pit side here. You see the 3, the 18. A lot of guys just with damage. See Bryson Bird back there, the 63 of Kalhoff, the 77. You see the 31 of Lemke. That comes down pit road. I don't think he has any damage on that machine. You see, yeah, he just comes here, maybe tops off on some Sunoco fuel. Well, looks like maybe took some tires as well. And we'll come out here. It looks like P13 with 11 to go. Oh, man, this race has kind of turned itself upside down from what I expected to have, at least. Obviously Joel Farlow being on front is not something that I'm surprised with, but like a lot of guys being wrecked out early really did surprise me. Obviously, Aaron Evans, I was surprised, got caught up in something. You see Jake, being caught up in a couple incidents. Some of his fault, I would say some racing incidences as well, but you have a lot of your big hitters that are still down pit road trying to take some damage, try to limp their cars back. See the 45 also down pit side, the 45 of McIntosh. I don't see a lot of damage on that 45, but I guess obviously you still see a guy in the driver's seat there. You'll start to see some guys come out of pit road here. as the field will approach pit road. Trying to beat the pace car off of pit road. Ooh, I don't know if the 3 got that. I don't know if the 5 is going to be allowed to take that lap. I think Michael Deitch has a black flag. Looks like he might have not gotten to pit exit in time. We'll see if they clear that black flag for the 4 machine. We got some Wyatt Roberts fans in the chat. Right now, he's sitting P3, looking pretty right now. Ryan Jones back there in the 8. In a decent spot for himself as well. But Roberts right now in a really good spot. Just like that, the laps continue to wind down here from Talladega. We'll be going green with 9 to go here, so under 10 laps to go here from Talladega. And things are going to get spicy. I mean, this is a make or break for some driver seasons here. Obviously, we have a lot of drivers like Xavier, who we have some love in the chat for as well, who are just out here to kind of race for a win here. But there's some drivers who, if they could come out here and win, they get into the playoffs. They get that wild card spot. And that's a make or break for this season here. Obviously, the inaugural season of the AWC Pro Series here, at least on the iRacing simulator. Everybody wants to come out here and race for a championship. Speaking of championships, that 24 leading a lot of laps here has put himself in a great position. Already locked himself in to the championship, into the playoffs. But he's been leading the majority of the laps here. We'll see if he can finish this off, cap it off with the win. But the 24 in 89 will lead us back to green here. 10 to go, coming to 9 to go here from Talladega. Good jump by the bottom line. This the top lane did not get going, and it's gonna make Jimmy Wright have to force the issue here. Is the 22 will try to get to the back end of that 89 machine to try to help the second lane go. Gilberto's gonna try to make that third lane work up there on top by himself, but no help for that 23 machine. Go Farlow with help from Roberts, trying to get him back out to the lead here, but here comes the top lane. The 89 from the help from the 22 and the 13. Gonna try to make that top lane work. Side by side going through the tri-oval right now. There's 89 with the help from the 22. Gonna try to push him out here. Coming to the line. 8 to go. Give it to the 89. Jimmy Wright making that top work, but here comes the top lane now. The third lane's coming into effect. Brett Bennett from help from Jake. And the 77 machine's going to try to make that top lane work. And they're having a little bit of a momentum. You see Derek Lemke also getting behind that 77, going to try to make this third lane work. Roberts pushing the 24, the 22 pushing the 89, and the 77 trying to make that top lane work, pushing that 47 out. Top lane losing a little bit of momentum coming down here, but coming down to the tri-oval here once again, side by side. Now the 22 is going to go up there and block the top. Now the 47 will go up there and give the 22 a shove. 7 to go, give that lap to the 24 of Joel Farlow, but the middle lane's got a little bit of a run here. Now the top lane has died. Now the 22 and the 47 are the lone men on top, trying to make that third lane work. That 22 is getting a run here. That 22 is trying to do everything he can on that third lane, but just not the help that he needs to make that line work. That 89 with a huge shove from the 13. He's going to try to take your race lead away. Help with the from the 42. Now we're going to be 3 wide for the lead here. Going through the dry oval, the 22 trying to make something happen now. Contact between the two race leaders. Give it to the 89 for that lap, I believe. And now that top lane is getting some help. The 66 Steel Rut going to go up there to the top lane. Derek Lemke, one of your all-star drivers, will go up to the top and try to make this thing work. Now to 89, help from the 13. That middle lane has started to work here, but the top lane is starting to make some way here with the numbers building up on that top lane. The 22 is going to have a run out of the backstretch. Luke Long getting a lot of help from 47. Give him the lap here. 5 to go here for Talladega. Ooh, he tried to block. You see the 22 trying to block lanes there. Could not get in front of the 66 Steel Rut. Where did he come from? He's going to lead this middle lane. You see some people starting to get aggressive. 4 wide here for the lead. Steel Rut's going to get put in the sucker hole. He'll drop back now, third in the lane there in that middle lane. And now the 13, Ryan Rombaum, going to lead that middle lane. Aggressiveness starting to pick up. You're starting to see who your friends are and who they're not. You see the 13 drop down in front of that 89. Now it's the 13, the 3, and now the 66 going to lead those 3 respective lines. As that top lane needs to get a run here to give themselves a shot. The 89 is going to go up there and try to get around this 13. Three by three, 4 rows deep now. Trying to make some room here. Now here comes Gilberto on the top. He's going to lead the top lane. Not making anything of it right now. Go back up here to your battle for the lead. That 13 has been able to get some good pushes from the 24, but the lane coming with the run once again. The 89 going to try to make it a race. Now 24 of Joel Farlow doing a fantastic job trying to get this 13 out in the front here. To defeat this 24, you're gonna have to start thinking about temps. He has not had any clean air for a little bit now. He's been kind of stuck back there in that P3, P2 position where you can't really get any clean air on your nose. You can't really save the temps here. When does the 24 have to lift here? And when will that top take advantage of that now? 2 to go here from Talladega. $13 needs the win to securely lock his way into the playoffs here. P8 in points, but a win would be nice for the 13 machine. Now 3 by 3, Derek Lemke making his way into the picture here. In this top lane, get a groove on here. Can Lemke come here and steal another race? Got the 13 out in front there, but here comes the run for the 30 machine. Coming to the line, 1 lap to go here from Talladega. 1 lap to go in the regular season. Who's going to come and take this away? 89 with a huge shove. Now that top lane is moving right now. The 13 is going to go up there. He's going to try to block this top lane. What does the 89 do? He's going to put a bumper to the back of the 13. Huge wreck. That's the majority of the field. The 24 is going to come out here unscathed. He had already locked his way into the playoffs through points. No, nobody's going to get to him in time, I don't think. Coming through the tri-oval, no sponsor, you don't need one. The 24 of Joel Farlow is going to come out here and dominate here at Talladega. What a finish. Getting 25 out of the 85 laps. I mean, that's almost half. So, what a performance by this 24. And we'll look at that wreck after we watch this 24 burn it down here from Talladega. Him, John Force down the front stretch here for you fans at home. And what a deserved win. I mean, Joel has had so many wins that I felt like he had a chance to take and just couldn't put the pieces together here. Tonight he finally gets it done here from Talladega in your regular season finale. Obviously he was already locked in on points, but this is a great way to go into the playoffs. He parks that machine right there. We'll go ahead and take a look at this wreck here at the end of this race. We'll see if we can find anybody who can see if we can find this wreck here at the end. Here we go. We'll have to diagnose what happened here. I think it happened between the 13 machine of Ryan Rombaum going up there making a aggressive block to try to take the race win away, and fortunately the 89 machine was not going to lift. You saw right there, the 89. I'm trying to find him on timing scoring. Jamie Wright here said, hey, I mean, we're racing for the win here, and it's nothing I blame him for. I mean, we're racing for the win here. There's a huge mile-an-hour deficit. Puts it, just tries to push the 13 out. The speed difference is too big, and unfortunately, nowhere to go for anybody here. Unfortunate set of circumstances. Where we saw right there, coming out of 3 and 4, no one got around him. He was just in the right place at the right time there. Joel Farlow come here victorious at Talladega. Before we get ready to get everything set and done, we'll wait on some of your drivers. While we wait on some of your drivers getting the interview waiting room, we're going to go ahead and let our partners over at iRacing talk to you guys for a little bit. We'll be right back after you hear from them.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to your post-race show for the AWC Pro Series regular season finale from Talladega. As we'll get ready to talk to your winner here from Talladega. Let's go and pull him up in the booth. Let's go ahead and talk to Joel Farlow in your number 24. Hey, Joel Farlow, it's Christian up here in the HBTV booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I feel like I've said this a lot, but there was a lot of opportunities throughout the regular season for you to come home in victory lane. Just couldn't ever, something would always come out of the work to take your win away. But tonight you come home victorious here in the regular season finale. Walk us through your race. Walk us through that. I guess that last lap crash that got you here to victory lane.
Well, shoot, we were pushing Ryan on the bottom, and then I hear we go 3 wide. I was like, oh, we're going to clear the guys on the outside, so I'm going to have a chance to pass Ryan. And then we get down the back stretch. Ryan goes up, and Wyatt, he starts pushing me. And then I hear them. They get turned around and stuff, and I barely missed it. And then through that, I was just holding the gas to the floor, trying to get every bit of speed out of it, hoping they won't catch up with us.
Yeah, looking at this, you led, 25 out of the 85 laps here, 58 laps, my apologies. And, it seemed like you seemed really comfortable being up front there in that top 4, top 5. Was that really the case? Is that something you kind of set up for? Is you really wanted to be up front the whole race?
Yeah, that was the goal, try to qualify up front, which we got that done. And the goal was just to control the inside line, because the inside would always eventually get back to the front. Even if you lose a couple spots, you'll always get back up there. And just trying to stay up there. The wrecks usually come from about 5th, 4th. So like being the leader, if they wreck behind you, you have a better shot of avoiding it than being like 2nd or 3rd. And just stay on the bottom is the most safe line. Being on the top, you could get taken 3 wide or something, and on the bottom, you just got 1 line to watch out for.
Well, looking at, the points and everything, how that works out, coming into this race, there's a lot of guys who needed the win to get into the chase here, the playoffs. For you, you're already locked in. So with you being locked in, did that really change the agenda for you and your team and your teammates here? Knowing that you really just need to show up and finish the race here. You didn't have to come out here and win. Obviously you did, but did that change the agenda at all?
I don't really know. I've just been doing the same thing about throughout the whole season. See where we stack up on speed, which I know for Talladega, I felt like I had pretty good speed. So for this race, it was just the goal was not to get wrecked out of the race, finish ahead of Bryson, but the end goal was to win the race. That's basically what I had to do. If I won the race, I knew I didn't have to focus on Bryson.
Exactly. I mean, Bryson was there, trying to make something happen there. But regardless of that, coming out here victorious, that's a great way to head into the chase here to start, your bid for a championship here. So before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank here for this win at Talladega?
I don't know. I like to thank my family for this one. They let me do iRacing and stuff. And thank Tim Goulet and Alex and James Johnston. They allowed me to race the 24 car for them. They gave me a shot at this, and it seems like it's been pretty good so far.
I can say that myself. Obviously had a great season, great regular season for yourself. Obviously winning here in the regular season finale. Hopefully you could take some of this momentum from, this win tonight and hopefully make a deep playoff run. But once again, congratulations on this win here in the regular season finale. Hopefully we can talk to you soon.
Okay, see you. Hope to see you at Indianapolis.
Yeah. Talk to you later, man. That was your race winner, Joel Farlow, there in that 24 machine. Let's go ahead and talk to your P2 finisher in that 13. We see him right there in that frame, that Dale Senior throwback. Let's go ahead and talk to Ryan there, who finished P2. Hey, Ryan, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Well, obviously, I think a race win was kind of in your books there. You were kind of running up front throughout the whole race there, but fortunately just come home 1 spot short there. I feel like the wreck really did help that 24 get in front of you there. But walk us through your race and walk us through, how you got up here into this podium position.
Well, it started out in the beginning. I had a bad qualifying run, Wasn't the best. Started way in the back. Just kind of went through traffic. Uh, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I had to stick the middle quite a bit during the race. Felt like the middle was moving more than anything. Um, then got in a spun in that one caution uh, when Jake spun right out in front of me. Uh, I don't remember what he said, what happened there, but spun around in that, put tires on it, fixed the car up, ran up front, ran the middle again, and then once I got up front, I just made that dumb block. I want to apologize to anybody who got damage in that, and I want to apologize to 89. Obviously, in hindsight, it wasn't the best move. I just thought maybe if I had a chance to win, it would be going to the top, getting a push, but just wasn't the best move.
Yeah, it looked like, I mean, just kind of a difference in speed. I think it was a good move if, the speed difference wasn't as high, but unfortunately, the 89 had a huge run from the help from I think it was the 47 machine, and fortunately, just the speed difference kind of sent you into the outside wall and kind of an accordion effect after that. But, still coming home P2, can't be too, upset about that. Obviously, I think that P2 finish will lock you into the top 10 in points, which is good. So you one of the other drivers that we'll get to talk to tonight that will get a race for a championship later this season.
Yeah, but it's the worst feeling in the world, man. Finishing second, I hate it.
No, I feel you there. I mean, I think everybody's been there where they had a shot to win it. Maybe whether it was a mistake of their own or getting caught up in something just comes up a little bit short. But at least a P2, good points day going into the playoffs. Hopefully you can take this momentum going into the playoffs. Hopefully we can see you up in victory lane. During the playoffs or the chase here. But before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank here for this podium finish?
I'd like to thank my family. They're watching. They watch every weekend. It's been quite a couple of weeks where I'm just wrecking out early and getting a bunch of wrecks and stuff. So I hope they enjoyed this race. And I want to shout out some guys at work that I talked to about the racing series with, my parts department at my dealership. And then I would like to thank you for putting on a great show. It's always a great show every week, Christian.
I definitely appreciate the kind words. It's definitely fun calling these races here. Obviously, the inaugural season here for the AWC Pro Series here on the sim, and obviously partnership we can hope to come. But once again, congratulations on this P2. Hopefully you can once again take this momentum into the playoffs, and hopefully we can talk to you maybe in victory lane soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was your P2 finisher, Ryan Ronbaum. Obviously, we saw that wreck happen there on the replay. Let's go ahead and talk to your third place finisher, Wyatt Roberts, sticks in here for a P3 finish. Hey, Wyatt, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. Got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, P3 finish for you in this 42 team. Obviously, I think a race win would have been really nice for you guys, but obviously, I feel like you were up there, especially towards the last half of that race, up inside the top 10 throughout the whole race. Did a really good job pushing. I'm pretty sure it was the 24 for a good chunk of that race, but walk us through your race. Walk us through what got you up here into this podium position.
Yeah, avoided the wreck, sitting on the bottom, and kind of just chilled on the bottom. Let the line come to me, and then I followed Joel for a while. I'd say most of it, and he helped get through the field and come to the end of the race. We were up there in a good position.
Hey, talking about the strategy of this race, there's a lot of drivers that will purposely go to the back. There's some guys like Joel we talked to who won tonight, who their goal was to just be up front at all times. What was kind of your strategy? Did you want to be in the mix throughout the whole race, or were you fine just kind of laying back and letting the race kind of come to you?
What I usually do on plate races, I usually just ride on the bottom because it's a lot safer to avoid a wreck. Because you can hop down onto the apron, or if it's really bad, you can go all the way out in the grass. But I find that the safest place to be. But I usually ride close to the rear of the car in front. I mean, it's not like I just give up spots. So I sit on the bottom, but I mean, I'm still trying to get to the front.
I feel like that's a safe bet. I mean, like you said, the bottom is kind of the safest place you can be, right? If you're in the middle, you're on the top. The wreck, I mean, you're at the mercy of the guys behind you or whatever to not run you over. So definitely agree with that kind of strategy there. But coming into the playoffs here, I don't think you'll be someone eligible. So coming into here as a kind of an outsider, not really race for a championship, is there any, tracks you have continued circled on the list to maybe go up there and compete for a win once again?
I'm gonna obviously do all the races, and I mean, I'm gonna not try and get anybody's way because I mean, I am just racing for fun, trying to get a win maybe. But I'm pretty decent all round driver, I think. But I know like I'm curious to see how like Charlotte Roval will go because I mean, I like road courses. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think all the ovals. I mean, if I play the strategy right, I mean, could have a chance to get a win, getting some good finishes.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Since you've showed up here, you've shown a lot of pace here, and has been, I would say like a guy who, so everybody has to, put you in the notebook to, look at for a race win here. But once again, congratulations on this P3 finish. Before you let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank here for sitting up here in this podium spot?
I definitely like to thank the people at Circumference Ultimate, which is Brett, Enrique, and Bryson. They were helping me with the field strategy, which would have played out good if we didn't get the final caution. But also thanks to my dad and also my friend Ryan Jones, which I invited here today.
Well, once again, a great finish for you, right, Wyatt? Up here in the podium spot. Hopefully, we can talk to you soon. Maybe up here in victory lane. But once again, congratulations on that P3 finish, and we'll just let you go to get prepared for next week.
Yes, sir. Hopefully we see you in victory lane. But thank you.
Yeah. Have a good rest of the night.
Thank you.
That was Wyatt Roberts, your third P3 finisher, and I think it's time to start to tick down your broadcast for tonight once again. Congratulations to Joel Farlow on this win. Obviously, we saw led 25 of the 58 laps, so dominating win. You know what? You don't really see that a lot here, especially in the Xfinity Series where it's kind of evenly matched, and I would say like in the best way. There's not really a difference in skill that can really make or break someone. You look at something like the Cup car where you really have to learn how to plate race in that car versus the Xfinity car where you can kind of jump in and race, and it's super hard to, I would feel like, the dominate a race like Joel did. So congratulations to Joel in the 24 on, making something good out of it and coming home victorious. Obviously, we talked about this. This was the, season finale for the regular season, so it's going to be interesting. We'll try to update you next time as we get ready to go into the chase, who is in and who is out. Obviously, I think Gabe Cazola, since he didn't win tonight, will take one of those lucky wild card names if he got bumped out of the top 10 points. Gabe did not have a good finish tonight, so he might have to use that win as a wild card in there. But obviously, with Joel winning, I think that eliminates everybody that needed to win, like a James Johnson, like a Gilberto Camaro, like a Brendan Reed, like a Landon Brown, Brett Bennett. All those guys are going to have to go based off of points probably to get themselves that last spot. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here with that. But honestly, a really good race. I had a great time calling it. And for everybody here at home, in the booth, we appreciate everybody coming out, watching the broadcast, whether it was over on twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13 or on the High Velocity TV YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody coming out, watching, interacting in chat. It looked like we had a lot of fans up here in the YouTube chat trying to cheer on their favorite driver. And it's always fun to see, who everybody's cheering for, who people want to see win. It's fun to sit up here in the booth and obviously call an entertaining race like we did tonight. But once again, my name was Christian Elgato, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race at Talladega Motor Speedway. Hope everybody had a great rest of the night. Once again, you saw a high velocity TV production of the AWC Pro Series here at Talladega Superspeedway. We'll be back on live on High Velocity TV next Thursday for the Prestige Cup Series. I believe it's week 2 in their playoffs, and be tuned for that. And then obviously we'll be right back here Friday for the start of the chase here in the AWC Pro Series. So once again, hope everybody has a great rest of the night, and we'll see you guys soon.